One of the men badly injured in the March 15 mosque attacks is afraid to leave his Christchurch home after being racially abused and threatened with violence. Mohammad Sahadat has been unable to work as a chef since he was shot at the Linwood mosque nearly 6 months ago. Already struggling to cope with the mental trauma brought on by that day, his recovery has been made harder by 2 further attacks on him and his wife that happened in broad daylight. Conan Young reports.
The bullet entered Mohammad Sahadat's hand and travelled all the way up his arm, exiting at his shoulder. Using his former employer, Ahmed Jahangir, as an interpreter, he tells me if he had been facing right instead of left, the bullet would have hit him in the head.
God has saved him, he says, otherwise if he would have, if he would have faced towards right and then he would have died, and it was God who has saved him.
Mohammad Sahadat has lost all use of his right arm and has been told by his doctors that he may never be able to work as a chef again. The mental scars from that day are also taking a long time to heal.
Everything is very fresh, what happened that day. And when he goes now for the prayer, he's never comfortable. He can't pray with the peace of mind. While he's in prayer, whenever car passes by, he gets that fear in his heart, thinking that someone is again coming to, attack us.
And what's making it even harder for Sahadat to put the horrific attack behind him? Recently, he's twice been threatened with violence and racially abused by members of the public in suburban Christchurch. The first time he was with his wife on his way back from the supermarket when a teenager and an older man blocked their way, asked if they were from the mosque and threatened to kill them. It happened again a short time later, this time involving another teenager.
Hey man, I beat you, man.
So he just scared now to step out of the house. Even now, after 4 months, he's basically not, free of anything. These kind of incidents make everything fresh again for him. He doesn't feel safe. He doesn't feel safe to step out of house. Mosque is just, say, about a couple of 100 meters from here. And he loves to go to mosque, but he's scared about all these things. And, while coming back, it's not about the night, he says. During the day, the first incident of two men he was talking about, it happened on midday around 12:50. And so during the daylight, he's being tortured.
This is the first time Ahmed has heard about these attacks on Sahadat and his family.
It's a very bad thing. Few people, I don't understand how can they just even think of doing like this. They should just show mercy on them. People like him, especially like us, if we have gone through already so many things, and again, I don't understand. It's hard to accept the reality, but this is the reality.
Sahadat, his wife and their 4 children are living with other mosque survivors in temporary accommodation organised by the Ministry of Social Development. The government minister in charge of coordinating support for victims, Megan Woods, says this is the first she's heard of people there being subjected to racist abuse and threats of violence.
Racism didn't disappear on the 15th of March, and it is all of our responsibility to ensure that we're not tolerating that in our society, that kind of hatred has no place in Christchurch or New Zealand, and that we don't want it here. And I certainly want to know if anyone is feeling unsafe, then we need to make sure that there is adequate security for them. These families have been through enough. Being subjected to racist taunts or threats is simply not acceptable.
Sahadat hopes he can soon find permanent housing in another part of town, away from the people who have been targeting them, so he can give his family the better life they moved to New Zealand for. Kei o tau tahi ahau, mō te hotaka o te ahi, ko Conan Young tēnei.